everybody, it's Dallin here, and just wanted to offer a quick PSA before I start the video. The only reason I changed out of my pajamas for work today was to record this.
No, but seriously, everybody, thank you for tuning in to the first ever episode of Byte Sized News in a video format. This is something that we've wanted to do for a long time, but we finally got around to putting it together. For those of you that don't know, Byte Sized News is a series that we've been putting on at PlexTrac that basically walks users and viewers and readers through 5 of the most impactful, important, and biggest stories in cybersecurity and InfoSec every single week. We know that a lot of you are busy security professionals, pen testing, kicking butt, and all that sort of thing, and you don't have time to view every single story that goes on in the industry. That's where we come in at PlexTrac. We go and pick 5 of the most important stories and bring them to you directly. If you guys don't know, my name is Dallin and I work at PlexTrac. I know my ugly mug isn't a face that you guys are accustomed to seeing. Usually when it comes to PlexTrac, you see a lot from Dan and Sean and even Brian, but I'm going to be talking to you guys today. Without further ado, let's get into the biggest news stories from October 4th to October 10th, 2020. Yeah, so getting on with the first story of the week, this is one that comes from our good friends over at ThreatPost. And the headline reads, Feds sound alarm over Emotet attacks on state and local governments. So this story details a warning that came out from the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Association, or CISA for short, about the new Emotet attack that is targeting state and local governments. Emotet malware attacks, for those of you who may not know, are sophisticated Trojans which commonly are attached in targeted phishing campaigns. These Trojans, once you click on them, launch a payload that uses the tactic of brute force to obtain user credentials and do damage. So there is a big increase in Emotet attacks that have been going on since July. And this is what actually led CISA to issue this mass warning. In an alert that they issued on Tuesday, they said that this increase has rendered Emotet attacks as one of the most prevalent ongoing threats in the nation. The article from ThreatPost goes on to describe the strain of the situation, saying that these attacks only compound a time where municipalities must juggle a global pandemic with COVID-19, widespread social unrest, and one of the more divisive elections in the United States history. Since July, CISA's executive branch protection tool Einstein has found more than 16,000 instances of Emotet activity. This is a huge increase and over double the previous period that they dissected. Brian Becker, who's a product manager at White Hat Security, told ThreatPost that Emotet is one of the reasons why you should never click on links in emails that you don't recognize. You can read the full article from ThreatPost by clicking the link below. So moving on to our second article brings us to one that we thought was very important to share with all of you. This is an article from Cyberscoop that details that a takedown of 92 Iran-owned domains includes 4 that were directly used for misinformation in the United States. This Cyberscoop article is based on statements put out by the Department of Justice and the US government earlier this week, which says that it has seized all 92 domains that were used to spread pro-Iranian disinformation around the globe. We focus specifically on these 4 US targeted attacks, but as I'll say later, this was a widespread global attack. The group, which is called Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, operated in domains that directly violated US sanctions. This was said in a statement from the Department of Justice that released this Wednesday. This statement also went on to say that the operation was based on intelligence that was provided to them by Google and was a joint partnership between the FBI and Google, as well as social media sites Facebook and Twitter. So yeah, there were 4 that directly targeted the US, but where were the other 88 ones targeting? This was also detailed in the article and said that Western Europe, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia were also targeted with those 88 other domains. All of these domains, however, disguised themselves as legitimate news sources when they were spreading their disinformation. The US seized control of all 92 of these domains because the government of Iran, and the IRGC ran them through a website and domain service that was operated in the US, but without a license that was directly obtained from the OFAC. You can read all about this by clicking the link below for that Cyberscoop article. Our third article from the week comes from CSO Online and details a new scammer group called Silent Fade. This is in the headline, How Silent Fade Group Steals Millions from Facebook Ad Spend Accounts. So if you guys aren't aware, Silent Fade is a scammer group that specifically targets Facebook ad spend accounts by trying to get their user credentials. Once these user credentials are obtained, they flip them to other bad actors who then use those accounts to spend ad dollars without any trace that this is happening from the victims. This group has been very successful to this point and has walked away with over $4 million in ad spend money without any trace of who they are. This has been further detailed this week because two people on the Facebook cybercrime team spoke out at the VB Conference 2020. These Facebook insiders called this group Silent Fade and discovered that this group came from a Chinese malware ecosystem that uses different types of malware in its cybercrime sprees. Facebook originally discovered this malware family back in 2018, but traces its origins back to 2016. So at this point, the malware is a few years old. So you may be wondering, where does the name Silent Fade come from? Actually, Silent Fade comes from the phrase silently running Facebook ads with exploits. And this is how the group makes money, because it is able to sell these accounts to other people who then pay them money to get these ad spends for free. You can catch the full article by going to csoonline.com by clicking the link below. Our second to last article from the week discusses Comcast, the TV provider we all love to hate. In an article also published by ThreatPost, it is revealed that there is a hack in the Xfinity TV remote that allows bad actors to snoop on its victims. Researchers have disclosed the attack, which is codenamed Where's the Remote, which works with the popular Comcast XR11 remote control. These remotes, which I'm sure you guys are all aware of, have a handy feature that they promote that allows you to search the platform with your voice. This allows you to find a specific movie, TV show, or sporting event that is on your program. However, this feature has been compromised, which allows attackers to listen in on your conversations. And what's worse is you don't even have to interact with the remote for them to do this. They can just listen in, almost like a baby monitor in a way. The attack is also very easy to carry out, requiring only an RF transceiver and an antenna, and is able to be carried out from up to 65 feet away. Thankfully, researchers have worked very fast with Comcast and have been able to find and remediate this vulnerability. However, this article is a reminder of the mass vulnerability of IoT or Internet of Things devices in regard to our own privacy and safety. You can read the full article from ThreatPost by clicking the link below. Our last article from the week comes from InfoSecurity magazine and talks about the importance of the cybersecurity industry as a whole. The article details data from the World Economic Forum, or WEF for short. This data states that while cyber attacks may have dropped in prioritization for some countries, it remains at the top of mind for both North America and Europe. This information comes to us directly from a report titled Regional Risks for Doing Business Report. This report has compiled over 12,000 responses from business leaders in 127 countries. These business leaders are presented with a pre-selected list of 30 global risks and asked to choose the 5 that they believe to be of the most importance in their country over the next decade. Unsurprisingly, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the number 1 and 2 global risks were unemployment and spread of infectious diseases. Although cybersecurity attacks fell from 2nd place to 4th, they're still top of mind in the West. To detail that further, cybersecurity attacks were ranked number 1 in the next decade over here in North America, and were ranked number 2 in Europe and actually number 1 specifically in the UK. This data just goes to show the importance of cybersecurity in our field in general, and also shows that many business leaders are beginning to prioritize cybersecurity in their business and in their country more and more as we move into the future. you can read the full article from InfoSecurity magazine by clicking the link below. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully we were able to fill you in with a few of the top stories. Hopefully stories that you might have heard about, maybe you hadn't, but you really got to learn more and get the most important, biggest stories all in one cohesive video. If you like that, we provide tons of content over at PlexTrac.com. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/PlexTrac. Follow us on social media at PlexTracFTW on Twitter and on LinkedIn at PlexTrac. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.